consumers, but also ensure that there is enough growth and innovation taking place in the industry. It's a balancing act, to say the least, and an act that someone we believe has mastered the art of. Our keynote speaker today at the IVCA conclave is someone who can be single-handedly credited with having changed the face of India's insurance sector ever since he took over in March last year. Under his leadership, we have seen path-breaking changes in India's insurance regulatory regime, reducing bottlenecks and paving the way for many of us in this room, the PE and the VC industry, to open up their purse strings and invest in the insurance sector. I can personally share a story of how collaborative IRDAI has become under his leadership as the regulator. We spent several months, in fact, maybe over a dozen meetings under IVCA's leadership, as well as collaborative process that we saw between IVCA as well as IRDAI to come up with the necessary changes in the PVC guidelines. And it was a process that was beautifully scripted and extremely collaborative, and we managed to iron out all outstanding issues and make the regulations extremely progressive and industry friendly. So what more can we ask for from a regulator? Someone who is willing to engage, listen, collaborate, and even act. In fact, I was chatting with the editor of a large business daily last evening, and we had interesting stories about how there's a lot of buzz in India's financial sector right now, specifically the insurance sector, saying the one thing that we've seen changed in the last few months is that so far we had IRDAI focus on the R of the acronym, which is regulation. But now for the first time, we're actually seeing the focus shifting from not just R, but also to D, which is development. And this is clearly someone who has now brought in a very strong vision for transforming the insurance landscape in the country. With that, it's really my honor and privilege on behalf of IVCA to welcome the keynote speaker for the IVCA conclave, Debasish Panda, Chairman IRDAI. Sir, welcome.
So, namaskar, and a very good morning to this lovely gathering out here. And a great pleasure to be here as part of the IVCA Conclave 2023. I would like to thank Shweta for those kind words. But I think as far as the sector is concerned, we have a long journey to really go through. Let me also extend my warm greetings to Mr. Karthik Reddy, the chairperson of the IVCA, Mr. Gopal Srinivasan in absentia. I think he has had a problem, so he is not able to attend this conference. Ms. Renuka Ramnath, MD and CEO of the Multiple Assets Management, Alternate Asset Management, and a warm welcome to all the distinguished delegates. It's always a pleasure, to be amongst the investors. Because I would consider the investors as a major force in building and influencing the future. We just heard a panel discussion. I was, a lot of learnings, a lot of understandings as to how the financial sector is evolving worldwide and also within India. And it was heartening to note also that the progress that we are making as an economy and also in the realm of technology and digitization is phenomenal. And I think those are very good indicators going forward how the insurance sectors could benefit from those developments. I would like to congratulate also the IVCA for its excellent work in bringing together the investor community. I think we had met last in Bangalore. That was a smaller gathering, but today we have a large gathering out here in Mumbai. I think we all are now looking at various CXOs and other top leaders, business leaders, and the multilateral agencies, all talking about India, that India is a bright spot and it's shining, etc., etc. and a focal point for, therefore becoming a focal point for the domestic as well as the global investors. And a prosperous Bharat would always mean economic growth for the entire world. So because India is going to be, as Madam Renuka said, the superpower in terms of its economy and also going to serve the many of the needs of the world population as well. Now, the statement coming also from international leaders in recent times about the creation of jobs in their respective countries due to India. The case in point is the Air India order of about 450 odd aircrafts. It's also very encouraging, especially at a time when you are seeing or witnessing mass layoffs and the global economic slowdown. India, however, has sustained and persevered despite the global headwinds, be it the pandemic or the geopolitical developments. We are also very proud to understand that we are the 5th largest economy in the world and will soon overtake to become the 3rd largest in the world. So I think we should talk more about the future that we can see and that we can create together. And today is an opportunity for all of us to engage in this conversation as to how do we create an insurance industry or the insurance sector which will attempt and try to fulfill the needs of every Indian. We are all in a rapidly changing world and continuously evolving and moving today at ultra fast speed. I think Madam Renu talked about the chat GPT, which is one of the classic disruptions. The popular AI chatbot amassed over 100 million users in just about 2 months of its launch and is already changing the way the world functions. The world is also becoming more and more digital every second. And India being a pioneer in tech and digital, it holds the edge. India's stack, UPI, the Aadhaar, the account aggregator framework, we can keep naming, all put together are changing the face of financial services. What used to take days is now being done in seconds. UPI is a case in point where an enormous number, 8 billion transactions amounting to about 13 lakh crores happened over UPI in the month of January 23 alone. So you can imagine the kind of traction that it is getting. As per the latest Global FinTech Adoption Index, India is leading the FinTech adoption race with an adoption rate of 87%, which is substantially higher than the world average of 64%. Web 3.0 will soon be a reality, and India has a lot to offer therein. Now, the ONDC is again a classic example with more than 21,000 sellers and 16 lakh plus products, if I'm getting the numbers right. So the uniqueness of India right now is its digital public infrastructure. Recently, the CEO of IRDAI, there was an article in the newspaper, and he talks about India, saying that India is uniquely positioned to have all the 3 fundamental or the foundational DPIs, the ID, which is the Aadhaar, the payment, which is the UPI, and the data, which is the account aggregator framework, in its India stack, and it can lead the way in developing playbook for global DPIs, bringing this ecosystem to the next 6 billion people of the world. Now, I think similarly for insurance, times are changing. We will be venturing into the world of continuous underwriting and seamless insurance. For instance, drivers will see how their insurance costs fluctuate minute by minute, depending on the route they travel, the state of the roads, the way they drive, and all of it will encourage them to drive more safely. Consumers will have the choice of paying for insurance as per their comfort. The way conventional insurance is being offered will be altered, and as a result of this, highly tailored offerings will be there on the table. Insurers will be able to quickly handle massive data sets from several sources using quantum computers, revolutionizing risk modeling and decision making. We are all moving towards a programmable world, as they say, our planet personalized. Young millennials and Gen Z want everything on a tap, and it has to be flexible. So both in terms of what is covered and how they pay it. They are looking for products that they can customize, suited to their specific needs. Change is also coming from a very non-millennial cohort, that is the older people who are living longer and expecting more out of their retirement. The world's population is aging as a result of higher living standards and advancements in medical research, and that's posing a new financial and care challenge. There is a need to create a more flexible retirement plans for an evolving later life environment. Most policyholders today want a DIY, do it yourself, or a self-service approach to determine the best personalized option accessible to them. And this has led to the rise of various advisory technologies and tech tools like digital assistants. Robo-assistants can skillfully handle the first-stage client connection thanks to the cutting-edge technologies like the AI and ML. Others may even go a step further and offer more personalized policies using sophisticated algorithms. Robo-advisory assistants can also aid with administering and monitoring the insurance, initiating renewals, and occasionally collecting premiums as well. They can also help with periodic evaluations of the policy, and a host of other things is possible. So smart contracts, parametric insurance or covers, and decentralized insurance is the future. The need for filing claims perhaps will be eliminated in a few years to come. I will quote an example. Suppose in case of a hurricane insurance, or a cyclone, or a typhoon, when sustained winds over a geographical location hit a certain speed, people in that area with decentralized insurance would get paid compensation based on their policy terms. How? Interconnected weather gauges will communicate with the smart contract in real time. If all the conditions are met and the wind hits a certain speed, automatically the compensation gets triggered and the money lands into their bank accounts. The same could be used also for travel insurance. Already something is happening on that count. An insurance smart contract operating on a public blockchain would include all details of the booked flights. It would also be programmed to monitor the flight data and react accordingly, triggering an instant payout using real-time flight data. So simple, fast, automated, and effective. That's where we want to reach. I mean, one can quote many such examples, but the point I'm trying to make today to this august audience is that accessibility, availability, awareness, choices, alternatives, innovation, customization, healthy competition, all led by technology, is the way forward. It's been 20 years since the industry was opened up, and by now I presume they have attained sufficient maturity. As per the statistics, the industry recorded a steady growth of around a CAGR of 10% over the last 5 years, and as on January 2023, the year-on-year growth registered was around 18%. So this itself suggests that there is a huge potential which exists in the insurance sector. All it needs is the right kind of approach, the right kind of support, and an enabling infrastructure and ecosystem. We are a diverse nation, and we cannot have one-size-fits-all strategy. I think we need to have strategies for different geographies, different sections of the society, different lifestyles, different income levels, and different needs, and that will require unique insurance solutions. There are millennials who demand insurance that too altered to their specific requirements. But also, there are segments where insurance is still a push product. The ones at the bottom of the pyramid may not be even aware of their insurance needs or how insurance can help them. So this is where the role, or rather I would say the responsibility of the sector becomes paramount. And when I say the sector, it includes all the stakeholders, the government, and the regulator. How do we take this initiative forward? So, to my mind, all of this cannot be fulfilled with just 70 players in the market. Perhaps they are not enough to take care of the entire needs of the country or the requirements of the population. So, and to 70 odd players taking care of 1.4 billion population. So that's perhaps something we need to all ponder over. And we need more players, and we need differentiated kind of players so that they can reach out to every citizen, to every nook and corner of the country, so that the people can be covered. We just cannot be done with a handful of products. We need many more products for wider choices to the consumer. We have to also have the distribution model also got to expand and become more efficient, and it has to be tech-based. So we need more players, we need more products, we need more distribution partners, we need more technology, we need more integration. The industry is also ready to generate good returns. All we need to see or look with a fresh pair of eyes to look at the potential of this sector and take decisions accordingly. There is a huge scope for insurance proliferation in the traditional risk coverages, be it life, health, property, motor, crop, etc. Our businesses, particularly if I look at the MSMEs and various other businesses, are not adequately covered. Now, how do we have a strategy to capture that market and fulfill those needs? If you look at the population, there is something called the missing middle as far as the health segment is concerned. How do we reach out to them? What is that differentiated strategy we need to adopt in order to reach out to them? So these are some of the examples which I would like to quote where we need to bridge the gaps on priority. But at the same time, the insurance sector has also come to terms with new types of risks like climate change, the pandemics, and the evolving mobility sector. These are the areas that will drive significant shifts in the industry. We may see a trend towards shared mobility that will require a very different form of insurance. So what we are traditionally doing and what is going to be the future. Customers will expect availability 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, which means a rise in products that cover service interruption, etc. Another emerging risk could be the cyber risk. The more tech-based and digital the world is becoming, the more it is prone to cyber attacks and consequent losses. There is a huge potential market for the same. Now, there's a broad agreement across the industry that the next 10 years are going to be of utmost importance and will see radical changes in the nature of insurance products and provision. And also, since the level of awareness is on the rise, more customized products will be required. All of this will necessitate more opportunities, more expertise, and more capital. We are home to 1/5 of the world population, so we have an unlimited market to cater to and exponential opportunities to grab. We are sure that the pie will expand, and not everybody looking at that pie that exists, but how do we expand the pie, and is waiting for you to take on that share. There have been a slew of reforms and initiatives in the insurance sector, and what is being attempted to do is to create an environment that will foster innovation, which will allow the freedom to operate, which will promote necessary ease of doing business. It will reduce the compliance burden or the regulatory compliances to the bare minimum, facilitates avenues for growth and the like. Today, an insurer can launch almost all types of insurance products without any regulatory approval and can tie up with many distribution partners. There is more empowerment, flexibility, and autonomy to the boards for taking business and operational decisions independently without prior approvals required from the regulator. Investment landscape is also being rebuilt to attract more investments into the sector, be it increase in the FDI limits, or the promoter status, or the staggered lock-in requirements, etc. Avenues for investment of the funds by insurers have been enhanced, paving way for more opportunities and better returns. For example, insurers can now invest in the funds of the alternate investment funds, debt securities of the InvITs and the REITs, increased exposure to the BFSI sector, and many more. At the IRDAI, we are also very conscious of how do we keep a close eye and monitor the risk profile of the industry. I mean, the insurers in particular, and even other stakeholders, so that at every point of time, they are conducting business in the way they should. So we have engaged about 4 mission mode teams who are working on building the regime from the current capital requirement, which is a solvency, factor-based solvency method, to a risk-based capital regime. So work is in progress, and we made, I'm happy to note that we have made good progress, and they're working with the industry as well. And hopefully in the next 2 years, we should be able to make sufficient progress, and perhaps in the next 2 years, we should be able to ground it also, is what we are working on. Similarly, for the monitoring of the, industry or the insurance companies in particular, we are now embarked with a program of creating a risk-based supervision framework. The current method of, the compliance-based method of the rules that have been laid out will be a thing of the past. We'll move towards a risk-based supervision framework, which will talk about a 360-degree view of the risks that the company is carrying, or something which is being built up, which would also account the external factors and also look at the various kinds of risks, like the management risk or the operational risk or the liquidity risk, the business risk, the capital risk. So, and it will be a continuous one, so that one is able to keep a close look and a close eye on the activities of the insurance companies, and that will give a lot of comfort to the regulator as well, that things are going good in these companies. So that is another area which work is in progress. Then, of course, to try and move towards convergence to the IFRS standards, the International Financial Reporting System, work is on, and we are closely working with the other regulator as well, that is the banking side, to see what is their experience and when they are going to switch over, because they look at the asset side and we look at the liability side. So we are trying to bring a sync so that it could be launched both across the banking as well as the insurance sector. Then another dedicated team is working on the InsurTech, which is the InsurTech mission mode team. Recently, I'm glad to inform you that we have revamped the regulatory sandbox regulations, bringing in a lot of changes which will help in adoption of technology in the insurance sector. So technological innovations, we all understand, are a key to the development of any sector, and insurance sector is very much a part of it. And to foster the innovation and also fully capitalize on the available technologies, the sandbox now, which has been revamped, it provides more room for experimentation and breakthrough products and processes in the sector. And it will not now function in a cohort basis, but it will be on a continuous basis that any application can be filed. That we have got a new committee now in place. The meetings will happen very regularly, very timely. If an application is rejected for some reason or the other, there's a window for review, and the review will be done by a different set of experts. And if they find argument or sense in their proposal, then it will be taken forward. So we want to encourage the tech sector to come in a big way to offer end-to-end insurance solutions. Also, an attempt is being made to optimize the strength of the Insurance Information Bureau. As we all understand, the power of data and the big data analysis and the insights will be very critical, not alone for underwriting, but also for the servicing request, for also the claim settlement, besides fraud mitigation, fraud detection, early warnings. All of this is possible, so complete revamping, overhauling of this IIB is also underway. Also looking at a lot, why I'm saying all of this, because the investor community has to understand that what are the changes that are being brought about, and that should give you a lot of comfort when you put your money in some entity, so that you know that, yes, these are the things that the regulator is looking at. And a lot of new risk coverages also based on the market needs have been recently introduced and launched. Some of it I would just quote an example is the surety bonds. Then we have the trade credit insurance, the title insurance. Also looking at those risk coverages which are not there in our market or in our country, or which are available or inadequately available, like also looking at long-term products in property and motor, P&I clubs, insurance for the warehousing sector, non-performance insurance, and many more that is being looked into as to how they can be introduced into the market at the earliest possible time frame. The two self-regulating organizations for the life sector and the non-life sector, which are the Life Insurance Council and the General Insurance Council, they are also gearing up to support the industry in a more efficient and participative manner. And I believe that they have a prominent and a bigger role to pick up the industry issues and provide the necessary facilitation. And they can also act as a strong agent in spreading awareness and facilitating insurance penetration. The proposed amendments to the Insurance Act is something also which aims to create a more robust, facilitative, and a supportive insurance landscape. So that will actually go forward in providing choice, flexibility, and also innovation in the process. So what is it that we are expecting out of it is that probably with those amendments we could see new players in the form of micro, captive, regional, specialized, composite, catering to the different needs of the geography and the strata of the population. So different capital requirements based on the risk for different entities, etc., is something, if the amendments go through, will be possible. Then various value-added services coupled with insurance plans is also being contemplated to be brought through those changes. More flexibility in investments resulting into faster adaptation to the market dynamics is also part of the proposed amendments. Various financial products on offer by insurance companies, apart from insurance, other financial products and services could also be offered if those amendments go through. So all of this, along with a host of other enabling changes, are going to make the Indian insurance market more attractive. And I've seen many of the insurtechs are being funded by the PE and VC funds, so there are direct investments also into the insurance companies as well. So going forward, we would expect more capital being infused into these kind of insurtechs and insurance companies. The insurance sector right now provides an excellent opportunity, actually, if you look at, and through this forum, I would like to sound the investor community to very carefully go through the growth journey of the insurance sector in India. And I'm sure the numbers, the environment, the regulatory ecosystem, the government policies will encourage further investment into the sector. We have created a dedicated facilitation cell at the IRDAI, hand-holding every new applicant which is desirous of entering into the insurance market. Should they need any support or any kind of guidance, then they are available all the time to provide all the necessary clarifications. The insurance sector is also being made attractive for all the stakeholders and creating value for all, whether they are policyholders, they are distribution partners, insurers, businesses, investors, and last but not the least, the society at large. So all of this is an essential part of our larger vision of insurance for all by 2047. So we invite you to be an equal partner in our endeavor to take insurance to every house, to every business, and to every person of India. In fulfilling the vision of insurance for all by 2047, when I say 2047, that's the outer limit. We want to achieve this as fast as possible. This is a noble cause, and I think everybody has to join in. This is the solution for the distressed times. Insurance provides the necessary financial stability, provides strength to stand up again after an unwanted and an uncertain happening. The time has come to reimagine insurance as a very dependable instrument at the time of need. And we all can actually make it happen together. So let's join hands to make this insurance sector happen. Thank you very much. Thank you. If there are a few questions, I could take. thank you very much.
So we have some tectonic shifts